Oh hey y'all, how you doing today? Lamoura here, and welcome back to yet another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. We are here where we left off in Camp Dragonhead, right outside the... I forget what it was called. The Incendiary? I don't remember. Anyway, let's talk to Alphinaud and get on to the end of this patch. Eyes unclouded. For one with reason to celebrate, Alphinaud looks rather grim. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. By Momo, the Garlean Empire believes that primals are insufficient menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Yeah, that actually would be pretty bad, huh? Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well fend for ourselves find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Nia, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. I do agree. No. Wrong button. Alright, to Mordona we go to see what everyone else has to say. Alright, we're here in the solar. We're going to turn this into Minfilia.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoix's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Alright, I'm going to take the book of... nope, that's for the summoner. I don't really care about that. It's a cool book. If we try it on here, you can see when you open it, it has this nice little magic ring around it and it glows. I really like it. I really like it a lot. But we won't be playing summoner too much in this, as this character. This is only for catch-up, so... yeah. The reason Roaille. Menphelia would discuss how best to proceed in light of recent developments. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zoma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few... Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Sure, oh man, I really hope it's not anything bad. This could be bad. Stuff never really seems to go right for us, so that's the only reason why I'm assuming that. But everyone looks okay. What's going on, Alphinaud? Tell me true. Nia, 'tis well that you were on hand. We have a problem. Roaille has escaped. Of course she has. God damn it. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodations were not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain. Oh yeah, okay, I was right. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Roaille quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in hand. She makes for Castra Meridianum. I'm certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilberd and the First are hot upon Royale's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. I know that's not how you pronounce her name, but no one said it aloud that I can remember, so I don't know the proper way of saying it, so I'm just calling her Roaille or whatever. There's probably a better way to actually enunciate that, but... you know, I suck at speaking English. Alright, who we talking? There we go. There he is, my friend. There he is. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Roaille walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raban's decision to keep the matter secret. 2 thanks for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Roaille must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. With that, I agree. So let's go give chase. Oh great. Magitech armor. Cool. One of my least favorites. Oh, we have to go all the way up here? Alright, well, if I had realized... I mean, it's not too late, but I would have teleported, to be honest with you. Just because this episode... Well, I want to say this episode's going to be long with cutscenes, but there's a good chance that it's actually going to be short with cutscenes, because I miscounted or misconstrued how long it's actually going to be. Misremembered, I guess is the best way to put it. But at the same time, you know, it could be really long. It could be like a 50 to an hour-minute episode. Who knows? Who actually knows? But if we go outside this gate is where I have to assume we go. Yeah, just outside of the gate to the left, we'll activate this next part of the fight. I do remember having to do this, but I unfortunately don't remember all the particulars. Anyways, this is a level 50 level sync instance. This wretch was with Roaille. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own. The goddamn harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. She looks pretty good in her battle gear, not gonna lie. Okay, so I remember this one being rather difficult for me, to be honest with you. Really, so the thing is, you have Elaine here, and she'll continuously fight Ilberd here. I'm using Art of War. What you really don't want to do is focus your attacks on Elaine here. There's no point in it. She can't die. Even if you get her health down to 0, she'll actually just stay alive. So what you want to do is focus on all the reinforcements and whatnot here, and just try your best to keep Ilberd alive. Ilberd, I'm sorry. Ilberd alive. So kill all of these guys, these weak dudes, so that you can start killing off all the weak guys, and your reinforcements can help you along as well. Now, when you see these guys, you really want to focus them, because they will continuously just attack, and one of them latches on to Ilberd, and that will drain his health quite fast. So, just like so, we'll take care of these guys. We'll get rid of this claw. Hopefully, get that off of our friends. Hopefully, kill it. Maybe catch a few of these guys. Now, this Colossus is going to be a little bit annoying here. We'll take care of some of these guys, but we want to get as many of these guys on our side as possible. Unfortunately, with the Colossus, he has a white mage that's helping him out here. So we want to take that out as soon as possible. All of our guys are helping Ilberd kind of tank the damage and do whatnot. So I'm not too concerned. Let's get a Lucid Dreaming, because I kind of forgot about that. I'm actually going to even get another Sacred Soil down over there so that they don't die too quickly. And because of my Art of War spam, unfortunately, we lost a lot of our MP. We'll try our best to do a little bit better. I don't know if I can do some of my regular healing skills on this party. Like if I was to use, okay, we're gonna have to spam here. If I was to use like Fey Illumination or Whispering Dawn or anything like that, if it would help me in any way. I've never really tested that, to be honest with you. So that's just kind of something I don't often do, but it could be something that could help you if you are in a situation and you're having trouble keeping people alive. I would like this dude to... Oh, it's a Doman. There's a Doman here. That's cool. Alright, so we're going to take out these big dudes first. Take out these machinations, these infernal machinations. That way our guys can be more free to help. See, as you can see now, Elaine has 0 health right now, and she's still not going down. The duty isn't complete. You can fill the duty if Ilberd does die, so just be aware of that. We'll finish that. Oh, those Domans are so useful, dude. I love them. And I think after this, it should be duty complete. There it is. It's nice and done. Easy, quick. Well, not really quick, but it's easy. Mind her, and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's-given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to survive, stealing, killing, and even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think that you you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raubon himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was a constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? 'Tis true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me any one thing, it's that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. We will return to Ul'dah to face justice. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the mud. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Okay, I get it. I get that sentence structure now. Well, hopefully she won't escape now. I would like to just, like, I don't know, cut an Achilles tendon or something so she can't run. Just saying. May seem a little cruel and unusual, but still. Okay, coolly deal. Let's turn in. Not so much of a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that the sword business is firmly at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raubon chose his. That seems a little rude if you're asking me. I mean, he had no way of knowing, you know? He chose with the best of the information that he had.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raubon. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Let us cling together. Alphinaud would ask another favor of you. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Raubon, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. Ah, but I have one last task for you, Nia. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Menphelia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Roaille in high regard. For better or for worse, she will want to know how the tale ends. Couldn't I just, like, call her over Linkshell or something? Do I have to really go see her face to face? I guess bad news is best served face to face in person. Alright, like usual, I just cut out the middle loading screens so you don't have to watch them. It's too many. Too many.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alphinaud. To think that Flame Marshal Roaille was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
Wow, Ryu? Okay. Can't say I was expecting that pronunciation.
Together with Raubon, Eline lent us much needed aid at the time of our order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Scions. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white Auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Scion souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to Auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Scion soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Scion soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with Lamoura.
During that encounter, Hydaelyn bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as Lamoura was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Hydaelyn placed the means to destroy the Scions in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Hydaelyn did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white Auracite? One to trap the Scion, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the Auracite. And I could do with some help. Eorzea, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Oh, they bumping canoodles. Alright. Hey man, Moonbreeder, I respect you, and I wish you were mine.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Scion motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Scion involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Alright, let us cling together. Once we are done with this, the patch is very soon to be done. We're not quite there yet, but soon.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Roaille, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Roaille didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the media project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Roaille played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Voris Zos Galvus. So he was Roaille's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Roaille served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
7 hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, why you must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! One day I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, It seems beyond any one individual to make Uldar whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Uldar.
The true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The Monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Uldar to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Uldar.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
And with that, we are done with patch 2.4, Dreams of Ice. But you will see that Minfilia does have another MSQ quest, but it is locked. To do the patch 2.5 before the Fall Part 1, you actually need to complete 3 different side quests. 1, you need to kill Ifrit, hard. 2, you need to fight Titan, hard. 3, you need to fight Garuda, hard. All those need to be defeated before you can continue on to patch 2.5. You can find those in the Waking Sands and talking to Eorzea. Alright guys, well, I'll meet you back in the Waking Sands in tomorrow's episode when we go to fight all of the primals in one episode. They're fairly easy, nothing really all that crazy compared to their normal variants. I want to thank you all for joining me on this episode. I really hope you've been enjoying it, and I will see you all later. Peace out, and much love to you.